Alright, what is up YouTube? Good morning one and all. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. I'm standing here at the Polderbaan, which at the moment is the only runway used for arrivals. I will take you through a briefing in a moment. A warm welcome. Yin, good morning. Number one like. He was here first. Ricardo, goedemorgen. T-Mac, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Singapore Airlines, Dallas, good morning. Hey there, I love planes, good morning. Edelwijs, goedemorgen. Morgen. Redison Guy, good morning. Good to see you all. Hope everybody is doing all right. It's a lovely Sunday morning over here at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. We should be good in terms of weather. I thought it was going to be a bit more windy than it actually is. We have wind blowing from the southwest and it's slowing down. So let's see if it's going to pick up again in the morning. If it is going to pick up, we are in for some crosswind arrivals with crabbing. We'll have to see. As you guys can see, the sun is out. This is looking to Schiphol itself, the main tower in the distance. You can see it is a more open weather type than we had yesterday. This is looking to the south, southwest. This is looking to the west. Still instability in the atmosphere, as you guys can see. There are some showers expected later in the day here and there. I just had a look at the weather radar and I will show you guys in a minute. It is looking all right for the time being. Leen, goedemorgen. Arjan, goedemorgen. Marja, goedemorgen. Patrick, goedemorgen. Jordi, goedemorgen. Evelyn, good morning. Drew P. Gambino, good morning. Hey there, Tina, good morning. Happy Sunday. Bisnovat, good morning. Hans, goedemorgen. Justin, goedemorgen, good morning. Chinese characters, good morning. Olaf, good morning. Edward, goedemorgen. Francis, good morning. Goosey, good morning, good to see you again. Leo, goedemorgen. John, good morning. Darth Cloud, good morning. Valentino, goedemorgen. Valentino, I should probably say. The Night Rider, morning. It is still quiet. There is an airplane coming up, flying towards the glide slope, A320neo. Sky Express arriving from Heraklion, Greece. Flight time 3 hours and 22 minutes. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight was in April 2020. And boy, are we in for a treat. I already mentioned it in the title. We are going to see a couple of nice airplanes, really nicely packed together. I will show you all in a minute. Let's first have a look at the landing of this airplane. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, there's another one coming in. I think we might have a little break to show you guys all the stuff I want to show you after the next two airplanes have landed. There is another A320 coming in from the left. Has just crossed over to the mainland airspace. EasyJet arriving from London Stansted. Alan, good morning. Erwin, goedemorgen. Wilbert, goedemorgen. Winskill, good morning. And Chinese characters is indeed from Nyon. Konbawa. Marnix, goedemorgen. Ronald, goedemorgen. Jillard, goedemorgen. Rival, goedemorgen. Basti, good morning. Graham, good morning. Happy Sunday to you too, buddy. I'm also looking to the left to see if we can see that A320neo from EasyJet already, if I can see it visually, but I don't yet. Hey, Mrs. Professor, good morning. Well, it is actually the sun, or at least I've been told, rumor has it that that thing is called the sun. It is currently still obscured by clouds, but it does look like it might get out at some stage during the stream. very much looking forward to that. Oh, and we can see the Air France A320 on its downwind leg west of us. Let's have a look. There it is. Well, if it isn't flying through the clouds, there it is. Flying on the downwind leg. We'll have to be quick with the briefing. First, Sky Express arriving from Heraklion. So Greece is like ignorance, it is bliss. Stijn, goedemorgen. Jarno, goedemorgen. Nelly, goedemorgen. Kanaal Kurdistan, good morning. Have a nice Sunday. Mario, Morgan. So the next A320neo is already underway. The EasyJet arriving from London Stansted. And well, obviously the A320 we saw just now from Air France is going to be number 2. I think I see it turn already. It is nice, you can see it quite well actually. So it is turning base. Will be number 3. Right, well, in that case, let me just go ahead and show you guys the big picture already. This is what the current runway usage is like. Polderbaan being used for arrivals, and we have Aalsmeerbaan and Kaagbaan being used for departures. Looking at the weather, and let me refresh, this is what it looks like. So in the north you can see some showers passing by. The wind is from the southwest. More is coming. Time will tell if it is going to reach us or pass south of us. There are a few clouds at 3,300 feet. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Temperature around 12 degrees. Wind speed is decreasing actually. I thought it was going to increase, but it is actually decreasing. Now, I will show you more about the rush hour that is expected once this airplane has landed. I'll save the flight radar tab for last, but around the end of the morning it is showtime. Servus Peppi, schöne Sonntag. Meilov, goedemorgen, good morning. Well done Springboks on your win. Meilov writes, what a game it was. I really thought England was going to go through to the final, but how about that? That was a last minute win. Right, and the A320 that we saw on the downwind leg turning base is the next airplane to arrive. Now, about that rush hour, we have underway 1 747, 2 747s, 3 747s, 4 747s. Estimated time of arrival 11:30, 11:27, 11:31, 11:40. Also flying behind these two is the PHBVA Orange Pride. And of course we have the Emirates A380, which is expected to arrive around 1:15 p.m. local time. That's what we have in store. So if you don't have to go anywhere, there's definitely good reason to stick around for this. For now, let's focus on the traffic that is before all the airplanes we saw just now. Edelweiss, good morning. Dennis Alex, goedemorgen. Frank, goedemorgen, good morning. Domingo, good morning. Koter Jeremy, goedemorgen. Wendy, goedemorgen. Fijn je weer te zien. Massimo Pinotti, good morning. Hey there, Dale. Good to see you. Nice of you to tune in. Told you it was going to be worthwhile. Hope you guys can all stick around for the end morning finale. Well, almost finale. Well, if you extend it until the arrival of the A380, it is going to be a grand finale. So this is Air France flight 1340 A320 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Flight time was 40 minutes. I think it is going to be the first butt shot of the day. Hey there, Ewald. Good morning. Goedemorgen. Dirk, goedemorgen. Guten Morgen. Tuning in from Cologne. Arjun, good morning, sir. Who is greeting us from India. Welcome to the show. Austrian Wolf, Servus. Awesome to see you all tune in so early in the day already. Now, beautiful skies. The water is actually like a mirror. So as soon as I arrived on the scene and I saw the updated meter showing less wind than when I left home, I immediately took away the crosswindy word from the title because that would be misleading. Alright, got a few heavies also coming this way, looking on flight radar, that is good news. First up, EasyJet A320 arriving from London Luton. Hey, didn't we have the Neo also arriving from Luton just now? Okay, flight time 39 minutes, 5-year-old airplane. You can see that there is still moisture on the runway. We did have rain overnight. Also, yesterday, in hindsight, the timing of the stream was very lucky. Of course, I had to wait until it got dry to begin, but I think shortly after coming home, went home, and shortly after I arrived home it started raining again, and the rest of the afternoon it was rainy and drizzly and dreary. Hey there, J North Star, good morning. Captain Eddie Bos, good evening mate, good to see you, hope all is well. That's all. Good hour, mate. Hope all is well down under. Gosse, goedemorgen kerel. Vinny TV Adventures, good morning, goedemorgen. Now, we might pick up on the audio of an airplane that just left and is going to fly past us. A departing airplane. To Christiansand, Embraer 190. Peter W, good morning. Politiespotter NL, goedemorgen, good morning. Evelyn says that the Delta A380 is due in 11 minutes. That's nice. Good to see them flying with the A350 again. Well, at least flight 74 from Atlanta a week ago. Or was it 2 weeks ago already? I don't remember exactly, but they did swap the A350 for the A330 for a little while. Peter, goedemorgen. Well, and this little bird flying our way is KLM flight. That's the wrong airplane, that's the departing airplane. KLM flight 592, 777-200 arriving from Johannesburg. Flight time at the moment 10 hours 43 minutes. A 200 ER. 18 years old already. First flight was in November 2004. Good morning, Jendrosek, MP78, good morning. Hey Infinity, goedemorgen kerel, hoe is het? And Infinity, the weather over here is quite well, not too cold and particularly not too windy. If you look in the water you can see it's like a mirror. I did bring gloves along in case the wind would pick up, but with the prevailing wind I think I can still manage barehandedly without getting stiff digits. That did happen yesterday for a while, or eventually I should say. But not today, I think. This is SAS flight 1553, by the way, the first CRJ of the day, arriving from Stockholm. Flight time at the moment 1 hour and 44 minutes, and this is a Mitsubishi CRJ 900 long range that is 6 years old and had its first flight in August of the year 2017. Hey Michael Walker, good morning. All is well indeed, thank you for asking, hope the same goes for you. MidKS, good morning. Hey Sander, goedemorgen kerel. Alles lekker? Now, behind the CRJ is a flying AMS Live logo. It is arriving from Cartagena. KLM 7879 Dreamliner. Before that, this CRJ. Good morning, Danny. TNC, good morning. Tino, good morning, buongiorno. Now, beautiful sight, a taxiing, well, two taxiing airplanes, but let's have a look at the landing of KLM flight 749, arriving from Cartagena, flight time 9 hours and 3 minutes. She's 5 years old, first flight August 2018. Hey. For a minute there, I thought that reversers were enabled. Wouldn't that be something? Well, hopefully the camera can pick up on this. The rays of sunshine passing through the clouds. The next two airplanes, an A319 from EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick and another A319 from EasyJet arriving from Birmingham. A third airplane already visible, and that would be the A350 from Delta arriving from Atlanta, flight 74. Again, a morning with beautiful lighting conditions. And thank you for asking, TNC. I am doing well. Chunk, good morning. Or good Arvo. For you then. Flores, goedemorgen. Mr. Wild, good morning, Mike. Michele, buongiorno. Benvenuto. Hey, Jelina, goedemorgen. Maxine, goedemorgen. Giggles Constantine, good morning. Ooh, up early. Tuning in from Washington State, so that is a 9-hour time difference? Well, no, that's probably still up late. A319 arriving from Birmingham, followed by the A350 from Delta, flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. And look at that, it's like the grass is, well, not on fire, but it does provide a nice effect, being illuminated by the sun with the dark backdrop, or gloomy backdrop, I should say. And Mrs. Professor, it does look like the sun is actually out at the moment. Amazing. Better still, look at all the blue sky surrounding it. Don't look too much to the southwest where the wind is coming from. Now, while on the subject of looking around the water, it is like a mirror. We aren't seeing any birds in the water, unfortunately. I do believe I did see Russell momentarily, but I'm not seeing him anymore. This is Delta Airlines flight 74, A350-900 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. The flight time of this airplane thus far, 7 hours and 36 minutes. The airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in September 2018. It's going to be followed by a Dreamliner arriving from Austin, Texas, from KLM. Oh yeah. Delta pilots know where the thrust reverse lever is. And look at that. We're also going to be greeted by the firefighters in a moment. They are now going to the northern threshold of the runway. In case you are unfamiliar with what is going on, they're doing their daily patrol round. Heading north to the northern threshold. We'll go around the northern threshold. They're now on the east side of the runway. They will come back down south on this side, passing us by to the south on the west side of the runway. They will probably sound their horn and or their sirens. Dreamliner coming up, and in the top left, A777 up next. This is KLM Flight 668, Boeing 7879 Dreamliner, arriving from Austin, Texas. Flight time thus far, 8 hours and 20 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old. First flight was in July 2017. Hey there, Tom, good morning. Who is tuning in all the way from San Diego? So probably up late still. Right. Let's have a look on flight radar. Will we catch a little break? I think. Right, beautifully illuminated by the sunshine is United Airlines Flight 968 in the Star Alliance livery, arriving from San Francisco, 777-200 ER, touching down after 9 hours and 50 minutes of flight. "21 years old, this airplane. Started flying in December of 2021. So it's going to turn 22 quite soon. Now the next airplane is an Embraer 190 arriving from Prague. And after that, we'll see another Dreamliner. Now, what is this rush hour that I was referring to in the title of the stream? If you guys have a look, we have one queen arriving at 11:40. We have two queens, one arriving at 11:31. We have three queens, 11:42, estimated time of arrival. A fourth queen, 11:33. We also have the KLM Orange Pride, the PHBVA coming this way. And that's all before the Emirates A380, which is now expected to arrive around 1:09 p.m. local time, is arriving. Firefighters coming back from their round around the northern threshold. Right, the Embraer just touched down, arriving from Prague. That also happened. And up next, a Dreamliner arriving from Toronto, Canada, KLM flight 696. Boeing 7879 Dreamliner, flight time 6 hours and 19 minutes, 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2016. Dylan asks, did you watch the rugby last night? I did. What a match it was. Really thought that England was going to go through to the final, but them Springboks. Suppose they aren't the world champion for nothing. Now behind this Dreamliner is another Dreamliner, and this is a 7879 in the foreground, and it's a 78710, its bigger sibling, that is following its footsteps, arriving from New York JFK. But first, this mid-size Dreamliner arriving from Toronto. Oh, a little bit of spray that had to have come from reverse thrust application. Only for a few seconds, it seems like. Hey Guy, good morning. You have a pleasant Sunday too, buddy. Got another airplane passing us by, which you might pick up on. 737-800 going to Helsinki from KLM. And we have an El Al 737-900 arriving from Tel Aviv behind the Dreamliner. Interesting to see that traffic between Israel and the Netherlands still takes place. Now the airplane is crabbing just a little bit, but there isn't substantial wind, although, well, maybe there's not substantial wind where I am standing, but looking at the chimney smoke, it does look a bit different. Let me show you in a moment. Well, it looks like the sun is going to disappear behind the clouds again. This is where the weather is coming from. More overcast. This said that some showers will also pass over the country later in the day. You can see the wind is almost exactly from behind, pointing the camera like this. Now, in terms of precipitation, I think we should be good for the time being. This is what it currently looks like. And as I'm saying it, I'm starting to feel a few droplets. Let me refresh. Yeah, there's a little bit forming, but this is what you need to have in mind. Probably is going to be all right for the next couple of hours, so not too worried about the few droplets. I did bring umbrellas along just in case, but looks like a few isolated droplets are falling at the moment. Nothing substantial. All Alright, the next airplane is from El Al, arriving from Tel Aviv, flight 337. It is a 737-900, flight time 4 hours 34 minutes. Now touching down, the airplane itself, 9 years old, first flight November 2013, so next month it's going to celebrate its 10th birthday. Always seems that foreign pilots seem to use the reverse thrust more than the Dutch pilots do. Anyway, shalom to all the people on board and welcome to the Netherlands. Alrighty. JD, congratulations, celebrating 2 months of membership. And JD writes another month of great live streams. Thanks, boy. Well, you're welcome, and thank you for your continued support, JD. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Hope that you are going to stick around for many more months to come. Now, got an A320 up next and an A319. The A320 is from Croatia Airlines, arriving from Zagreb. And we can see an airplane flying to the glide slope from the east. This airplane, arriving from Zagreb, has been underway for 1 hour and 38 minutes. The airplane, 23 years old. First flight was in April 2000. Oh, and Infinity says that El Al has an anti-missile system, presumably, under each PAX airplane. Okay. Well, normally I always bring missiles along when I go live stream, but today I have forgotten them, so lucky them, they don't need to use the anti-missile system today. Look at that, beautiful cloud. It's going to pass north of us. It is a bit more gloomy looking in the direction of the wind, but will probably be good. I say that also hoping. Next up is an A319 arriving from Munich, Lufthansa flight 2302. KLM style landing, vacate late, sooner to the gate. Hey, and we hear some fireworks in the distance. I think we have the culprit standing there. Bird control vehicle. From a distance it looks like it is a VW. K2 or K1 maybe? I will be careful, Austrian Wolf. Don't want the Mossad after me. Alright, got a few narrow bodies coming in. The next airplane is the baby bus A318 arriving from Bucharest. It is the daily flight from Tarom. In the distance you can see another 737-900, this one from KLM arriving from Berlin. Tarom flight 361. Flight time from Bucharest to Amsterdam thus far, 2 hours and 22 minutes. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight was in November 2006. The airplane behind it, as said, 737-900 arriving from Berlin, from KLM. And good morning to you all who have joined in the meantime. Christian, Jim, DJ Dave North, good morning to you all. Hope all is well with everybody. Now, it's still drizzling a little bit. The weather radar didn't pick up on it, so it must be forming as we speak locally. Oh, it's acting like it's an Embraer with all the squeakiness in the brakes. And Romanian butt shot coming in. There you go. Now the next airplane is almost ready to touch down. Minimal separation, it seems like. KLM flight 1822, arriving from Berlin, 737-900. Flight time 56 minutes. Airplane age 22 years. First flight was in October 2001, so it just turned 22 this month. You might also pick up on the mic the sound of the departing 737-800 to Copenhagen from KLM that is now passing over us. Well, still a few minor droplets, it's nothing to write home about. The camera barely gets wet, so I think it is going to pass over soon enough. We'll have to wait a little bit for the next airplane to arrive. It looks like it's going to come from the east and will be an Embraer 175 from KLM arriving from Zurich. So we might pick up on it from this point of view. Also gives me some time to have a look at the METAR. And also have another look at the weather radar. So this is what it currently looks like. Refreshing, this is the past hour, this is where we are at. Yeah, there's a little bit forming, but it's nothing substantial. The METAR, let's also refresh the weather. So, few clouds at 3,400 feet. We have wind 8 knots, almost directly headwind. Visibility is still 10 kilometers or more. The wind speed is decreasing. The air pressure is increasing. Temperature is relatively constant. I will copy paste this into the ticker in a moment. Now, let's also have a look. Oh. At runway usage, still the same. Polderbaan, where we are standing at, the only runway used for landings, and the Kaagbaan and Alsmeerbaan are used for departures. And it looks like the 747s are getting closer. Also, the PHB VA, the Orange Pride, and the A380 is still in the vicinity of Turkey. So we'll have to wait a bit longer for that. Now, let me copy paste the METAR we saw just now into the ticker for you guys, so you can read it back. Right, there we go. Everything updated. Right. Now, don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done so already, if you're liking content such as this. And also make sure to subscribe if you want to keep updated, want to stay updated of upcoming streams. Make sure to hit the bell icon and you'll get notified whenever I go live again. This is KLM flight 1954, our next airplane, Embraer 175 arriving from Zurich. Flight time 1 hour and 5 minutes. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in March 2016. There's also an A320 arriving from Sky Express, coming in from Zakynthos. Looks like it is first going to fly. Well, no, it is coming our way. It's a bit more southerly than I'm used to seeing them. But then again, traffic is light at the moment. Let's have a look. A320 arriving from London Heathrow. Speedbird coming this way from the west, still over the North Sea. So let's see if we might pick up the number 2 airplane, the A320 from Sky Express arriving from Zakynthos. I'm also having a look to see if I can spot it visually already. Oh yeah, I do have it. It is actually quite far away still. It was in the vicinity of the sugar factory. There it is. So there's the Sky Express A320, likely the number 2, on its way to the glide slope. So visibility is quite well. Actually, as you guys can see, you can see quite far ahead. And the droplets that fell just now have stopped falling. Hopefully that will be the last of it. So, overview. Looking to the south, a bit darker. Looking to the west, this is where the wind is coming from, at least at higher altitudes. This is looking to the east. Looks nice still, even got some blue over there. And this is looking to the north, with also some blue here and there. Right, where is that A320? There it is. The number 2, or no, now the number 1. Sky Express flight 7100 arriving from Zakynthos, Greece. A320, current flight time 2 hours and 57 minutes. Twelve-year-old airplane, first flight March 2011. Now, in the background, from the other side, should be an A320 further north, also approaching the glide slope, so we might catch both of them in the same shot, going to the glide slope. Let's have a look. Oh, and the droplets are beginning again. Maybe a bit lower. Oh, it is still... The number 2 is still approaching the glide slope. Let's see, not seeing it yet. Maybe the clouds are in the way. Or maybe it still has to come in view. Also having a look visually, but that doesn't do me any good. Right, it started raining again. Slight drizzle. And there is the number 2, the A320 arriving from London Heathrow. A little bit lower, now between 8 and 9 o'clock. There we go, 2 airplanes. The next 2 airplanes. And there's also an Embraer 190 arriving from Geneva. That will be number 3. Will be turning onto the glide slope from the left. Though I think it is still a bit further out. So for the time being, let's focus on the number 1 arriving, the A320 from Sky Express, flight 7100, arriving from Zakynthos, Greece. Current flight time 3 hours exactly. Flight time, airplane age 12 years, first flight March 2011. Right, in the meantime, airplane number 3, the Embraer 190, now number 2. Also visually packed together with the now number 1. Speedbird flight 430 arriving from London Heathrow, A320, flight time 39 minutes. That is nominal for London, Amsterdam. The airplane is 21 years old, first flight September 2002. Happy New Year! That is the bird controller setting off some fireworks. Right, there's also a 777 arriving from Cape Town that is flying downwind, west of me. I'm looking to see if I can spot it visually, but I think it is already too far out. Meanwhile, it continues drizzling. Now, because there's little wind, stuff doesn't get very wet very quickly, but this shouldn't continue too long. Interestingly enough, as you guys could see not too long ago on the weather radar, nothing was to be seen. So it is forming locally. I'm hoping it will pass over quickly. It does provide a little bit more moisture on the runway, so in case airplanes use their reverse thrust, we are in for a nice bonus of spray. I think I also see the first airplane lining up for center, so it looks like they have reopened center. Let's do a quick update of the ticker. Well, next up is KLM flight 1926. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Geneva, where it left an hour and 14 minutes ago. The airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in February 2018. And Mark is trying to make us jealous, saying that Dublin, Ireland is pretty sunny. Well, please send over some sunshine to us over here, or at least dry weather conditions. Where's all the rain coming from? That was not in the prediction. Now JD just gifted 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, JD. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, the 5 new members that were gifted a membership by JD. JD, thank you once again. Right, now it is slowing down again with the drizzle. Let me do a quick wipe of my camera and phone screen and mic. Probably won't do any harm. A few isolated droplets, but you don't want it getting into the electrical bits of the camera. So just wipe it off. That should be good. Phone screen on again. Now, before going back to the camera, let me first go back to the laptop because Jeremiah Donnelly just gifted 10 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, Jerry. And welcome 10 new AMS Live members to the Aurora Sky Lounge, courtesy of Jerry, who just gifted your membership. Jerry, thank you so much for that. Now, the next airplane is KLM flight 636 arriving from Las Vegas. It is a 787-10 Dreamliner. Flight time 9 hours and 22 minutes as we speak. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight was in November 2019. I think I must have missed your arrival, Jerry. Hope all is well. Now, I do see some patches of blue sky in the clouds that are coming this way. It's even getting a little bit lighter here as we speak. Hopefully that will result in the rain, the drizzle stopping. We've got another heavy coming in. It is the 777 that we were expecting already, arriving from Cape Town, KLM flight 598. I was trying to look for it as it was flying downwind, but couldn't see it. The 777-300ER now clearly visible. Flight time from South Africa thus far has been 11 hours and a minute, according to Flight Radar. The airplane is 8 years old. Its first flight, February 2015. And another big bird behind it, Air Canada Flight 808, another 777 arriving from Toronto. In the meantime, parallel arrivals are in progress. And you can see now that some rain has started to form, some showers. It's always the downside of rain showers, they can form spontaneously and weather radar can only pick them up once they have formed. But there is fresh spray on the tarmac, potentially, if it chooses to use the reversers. But instead, it chooses to do a wheelie, which is also fine. Lovely to see. Not the longest we've seen, but definitely a nice one. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Good to see you, buddy. Hope all is well. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome to you too. We're in for a treat. If the weather will allow me to stay out for as long as necessary. We've got a nice stack of heavies coming this way, all in the time span of approximately half an hour. 4 747s and the PHBVA Orange Pride KLM 777-300. I think within the time span of an hour, 4 Queens, 1 A380 and the PHBVA. And I haven't looked for other airplanes with special liveries, but that is only the things I have checked out. Now, Air Canada, flight 808, up next, arriving from Toronto, Canada. 777-200 long range. Current flight time 6 hours 41 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. Its first flight was in November 2007. The next airplane behind it is already visible at 9 o'clock. KLM 737-700 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. It will be followed by an A319 from EasyJet arriving from Milan. Is that already visible somewhere? Oh yeah, at 7 o'clock of the number 2. Beautiful glide slope shot. And Mies is informing us that the A340 is preparing to leave. That is good news. Visibility is good. We might be able to pick it up then. Let me have another look at flight radar. Scrolling a bit south. A330 first. And that's at runway 24. Not seeing the A340 on flight radar just yet, immediately. Can somebody give me a heads up in the chat when it is actually lined up, ready to go? Because we should be able to make it out. Or has it gone already? No, that's the Delta. Alright. Glide slope shot once again. And a big thank you, Roy, for your continued support. Roy celebrating 6 months of AMS Live membership. And Roy says, plane spotting, the nicest thing to do fully dressed. That, and I think probably having a good meal. Okay, Dirk, thank you for the update. The A340 has just left the F gate. If somebody can give me a heads up when it is lined up, I'm thinking it's going to take off from runway 24 since it's going to Paramaribo. Then I will turn around the camera and see the 5 APU airplane take off, or see the curvature of the earth fall away under it. This is KLM flight 1228, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. 737-700, flight time 47 minutes. 12-year-old airplane, first flight February 2011. Meanwhile, K1 just passed me by over here. Bird control vehicle, the VW. We'll be making a photo bomb moment from the right in a moment. And the reversal slot is open. But it doesn't look like it is being used. Pity. Macro overview. This is looking to the south. This is where the wind is coming from and where the weather is coming from, at least at the altitude where the weather is formed. Yeah, hard to make it out. Is it just dark clouds or is it going to contain precipitation? Looking to the east, you can see things that have just passed by. They do contain precipitation. You can see the rain, the screen of rain to the ground from the cloud. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen kerel. Good to see you, hope all is well. Got the EasyJet A319 arriving from Milan up next. Flight time 1.5 hours and a minute. The airplane is 14 years old. First flight was in December 2008. And despite the presence of fresh water, the spray potential on the runway not being fully utilized. I think we are going to see a butt shot, however. Austrian registered butt shot. An alpine butt. Right, well, interestingly enough, where the water was like a mirror during the beginning of the stream, it is becoming a bit more ripply. Does that mean that the wind is picking up? Let me see if I have a moment to update the meter. Last time I checked, it was still an 8-knot wind. Maybe it has turned a little bit more southerly, now causing a bit more ripples in the water. Wheelie time. For the 737 arriving from Copenhagen, and you can see parallel arrivals are in progress. Transavia 737 going to center at the moment. However, we are going to turn back to the north because coming our way is a Delta A330. Now, if there's an airplane type and an airline that have the potential to get loud, sprayy, wheelie, noisy, all the good stuff, it is Delta and their A330s. It's flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Flight time 7 hours and 39 minutes. The airplane is 19 years old. First flight was in March 2004. And oh, momentarily illuminated by the sun. That was a nice picture, even though it was only momentary. Nice. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. In the meantime, I see the lights. I see two lights. Two airplanes coming our way. KLM flight 1002 arriving from London Heathrow. Behind it, a Transavia arriving from Girona. Right. I'm updating the meter in the ticker, just so we can have a look at what is what. There we go. And another KLM style landing. Vacate gate, surrender to the gate. Looks like we might have a minute to look at the meter in more detail after this airplane has landed. It is Transavia arriving from Girona, 737-800, flight 5766. Flight time between Girona and Amsterdam thus far, 1 hour and 42 minutes. The airplane 22 years old, first flight was in March 2001. Well, I think Jerry's dog Douche and we have something in common, we all. I think we all get excited for loud planes. But it's nice to see that your dog also has the heart of a plane spotter, getting excited by loud planes. Or maybe it is just mimicking its master. That could also be the case. Right, now we have a few moments before traffic to our runway is coming this way. For the time being, traffic seems to be mostly going to the other runway. In the meantime, I'm getting a notification from PayPal saying, "You are the best, keep warm, enjoy some coffee, see you on November 17th in Amsterdam," from Earl Cheney. Thank you so much, a very generous donation via PayPal. Thank you so much for that, that is very generous of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in real life once you get here. I'll have I was about to say I'll have coffee ready, but I think that is promising something, making a promise I cannot keep. It has started drizzling again. It doesn't make the camera very wet. But if it continues like this, might have to get the umbrella out. Let's have another look at the weather radar, shall we? Okay, so current status quo. This is what the weather radar looks like. I'm refreshing it. And this is roughly where we are situated. There is a little bit of precipitation that is developing, and I think we are catching a glimpse of it. Looking out to the southwest where the clouds and precipitation are coming from, it does look more open, so I think it's not going to be very substantial. Extrapolating for 3 hours, let's have a look and see what it is going to do. Well, we should be good in terms of major precipitation. We shouldn't be seeing that. Now, hopefully the weather will facilitate the arrival of the queens that are getting closer by. We have one 2, 3, 4 Boeing 747s that are all expected within the hour. Behind that is the PHBVA Orange Pride Dream 777 from KLM. And we're also still waiting for the arrival of the Emirates A380, now in the vicinity of Bucharest. Estimated time of arrival 1:15 p.m. So very much looking forward to seeing the arrival of all the heavies. We are in for a big finale. Weather permitting, of course. Right. For the time being, we'll have to make do with traffic going to the center runway. This is probably the 737 arriving from Vienna. Although there is another airplane coming this way if I look on flight radar. Iberia Express arriving from Madrid. Now, if you look in the water over here, and I will show you in a minute, it has become like a mirror once again. Wind definitely not increasing. I think the Iberia Express, yeah, I can see it already. So after this airplane, let's go back to the traffic. Landing on Polderbaan. The stream over here, once again quiet. The chimney smoke blowing directly away from us, so we are pointing in the direction of the wind. The wind is coming from behind us and moving away from us in this orientation. Looking around me, although more people have joined over here, we aren't seeing any birds. Russell, I haven't seen him yet. I think I did see him as I was walking up here, but haven't seen him since. Now, this is Iberia Express flight 3722 arriving from Madrid. A320, flight time 1 hour and 56 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old. First flight was in August 2013. Right, Evelyn is saying that the A340 is currently taxiing to the runway. Thanks for the update. Let me have another look then. Oh, multitasking is always difficult. Oh yeah, I see it. Looks like there are a couple of airplanes ahead of it still before it can take off from runway 24. But it is getting close to the runway threshold. Nice wheelie. Look at that. Well, the Spanish also know how to do a wheelie, it seems like. Not just the KLM boys or Delta. Nice to see some variety in the operators that are doing the wheelies. That was nice. Not the longest, but definitely a nice one. Right, let me see. The A340. Oh, looks like it might be the next. Well, there's also the one to Shanghai. It's a bit further out. Okay, well, won't be long. Won't be too long before it's lined up and ready to go. Our next airplane is Air Transat arriving from Montreal. A321neo, flight 324. Flight time 6 hours and 27 minutes. The airplane is brand new, meaning less than a year old. According to Flight Radar, the first flight was in fact in June this year. So very much still under warranty. Hey Paul, goedemorgen. Tuning in from Leiden presumably, or are you in Noordwijk? Right. There are airplanes flying north, west of me. Looking, I think I see one already on the downwind leg. They will probably land. This looks like the Embraer 190 arriving from Luxembourg. And further up, but I'm not seeing it, is the Transavia 737 that is arriving from Ibiza. Paul tuning in from Leiden. Is it dry over there, or are you also having drizzly weather? Alright, well, Air Transat about to set foot on Dutch soil. It has the sunglasses on, but what for? Beats me. It's already slowing down, so I think there's also a butt shot coming in. Well, while we're turning towards the Kaagbaan, let me have a look. Lined up is the triple to Shanghai, and I think the A340 is going to be number 2. Unless the airplane to London Heathrow will take the other entrance. Yeah, there is a small 737. Oh no, that's the arriving airplane. Just kidding, it is going to be number 2. Yeah. Privet, Boxadier. Right, let's have a look. Oh, it is playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Now, play coming in from the north. The A320neo arriving from Reykjavik. And we have the Suriname Airways A340 lining up on runway 24. It's probably going to be airborne somewhere in this field of view. Right, 5 APUs spooling up. The play A320neo almost landing behind me. Right. The A340 should be on the move. Let's see. It's more likely going to appear on the right hand side of the screen than on the left, but I am watching visually to see where I need to point the camera and zoom into. I'm actually thinking it might be more in the vicinity of the tower. Oh, even further. Man, that's a late rotation, but there it is. Suriname Airways going to Paramaribo. A340-300 crawling away from the earth, inching up ever so slowly. It will have reached cruising altitude just before the coast of South America. Look at the cloudy backdrop, beautiful. Solar collector incoming. It's hardly rising above the tree line. Commando style, staying hidden from sight. Well, I think that is it. Let's focus on what is coming from the north to Polderbaan. We are seeing more traffic coming this way. Let me reorient. Flight radar. Now the Play A320 Neo we have missed, but more is coming up. United Flight 946 is what we are looking at. 7878 arriving from Washington. Flight time 7 hours and 5 minutes. 11 years old. First flight August 2012. Behind it is another airplane, and that would be JetBlue arriving from Boston, the A321neo, another transatlantic narrow-body flight incoming. At the moment the water is starting to ripple again. Wind feels like picking up. Feels like it has picked up a little bit. Still not very substantial. How about some spray? And the United pilot says, how about no? Gorgeous lighting once again. Really lovely. Now, also, almost forgot, thank you Jerry for your super chat. Sorry that I'm a bit late with it. Jerry writes, Spanish fly it surely kept his front wheel up, talking about the Iberia Express that we saw do a wheelie arriving from Madrid. Thank you so much, Jerry. It was a nice variation on the the KLM 777s and Embraer 190s and the occasional Delta A330 that are doing wheelies over here. The sun has started to come out again. This is what it looks like in the direction of the wind. I think we are good for the time being. Got some more ripples in the water. But the sun is out once again. Got some nice open weather to the west. Now unfortunately the wind is blowing from the southwest. Right, so up next is the A321neo from JetBlue, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. The airplane has been underway for 6 hours and 31 minutes as we speak. The airplane is relatively new, 2 years old. First flight was in August 2021. If you just joined us, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan runway 18 ride. At the moment, one of two runways being used for arrivals. The wind blowing from the southwest moderately. Little bit of crosswind. You can see a slight bit of crabbing, but it's nothing substantial. Normally the wind picks up as the day progresses, and today the other way around, the wind tapering down, slowing down. Got some showers in the vicinity. We did have a few droplets earlier. Now, isn't this A+ lighting? Beautiful. Bit hard to see the screen, but I'll live with that. You can see precipitation is never far away today. East of us, we do see some rain. Bird controller is coming our way. We are in for a nice rush hour of 747s in the upcoming hour and a half, 2 hours. We've got 4 747s and the KLM Orange Pride and the Emirates A380 all coming between 12 and 1:15 approximately. I hope that by the time the 747s arrive, they will close runway 18 center again. I think we might catch a lucky break there, but fingers crossed. Right, narrow bodies time. It is 2 Embraer 190s that we are looking at. The first one arriving from Dublin, the other one is coming from Bristol. And the third one is following, arriving from Southampton, further north. And is this Captain Wheelie? Or is he on the next airplane? Got a little butt shot coming in. And the next Embraer almost ready to land. 2 Embraer 190s, the first one from Bristol, the second one in the top left is coming in from Southampton, and further north turning onto the glide slope is a 737-800 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Hey Paul, morning mate, good to see you. Hope all is well over there in Yorkshire. Now, as we're waiting for the next airplane to arrive, let's have a look and see where our big birds are hanging out. The 747s, the PHBVA. Oh, the first two are already in Dutch airspace. So have a look. This is what is coming. We've got two queens already in the country. Now, hoping that they are going to land on our runway, but it's very likely that they have already been granted permission to land on center. Got a third queen coming this way, and a fourth is behind it. And behind the fourth we have the PHBVA KLM Orange Pride. The A380 still in Romania, estimated to arrive around 1 p.m. local time. So queens first and king last. Hey Rick, goedemorgen. Mr. Master tuning in from the north of the country. Hope all is well over there. Now definitely make sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already, if you're liking content such as this, and if you want to stay updated of when I'm going live, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you will get notified whenever I go live. The next stream after today, I'm hoping to be out again tomorrow. I think the weather is going to be good. Don't think that wind direction is going to change significantly, but fingers crossed, you never know. Got an Embraer arriving from Southampton. The third consecutive Embraer 190 from KLM. Now we haven't seen Chucky yet, the DAPRI from German Airways. Normally speaking, not a stream goes by, or nearly never a stream goes by without it appearing. There are also Embraers landing on center, so who knows, it might have already landed. Now look at the clarity in the sky when you do have a patch of blue sky. This airplane, this twin jet, is moving from southeast to northwest, probably from Munich or Frankfurt, on its way to the United States or Canada. I think I see some darkness on the tail, so I'm saying Lufthansa most likely. It will be entering the clouds, or at least the clouds will obscure it momentarily. There we go, gone. Well, oh, and there's another one crossing in the other direction, another twin jet by the looks of it. In the meantime, I think I'm starting to feel a few droplets once again. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Just not moving as fast as I anticipated it would be. Should become visible better in a moment, after it has cleared those last couple of clouds. There we go. So even on October 22nd, we can still do a bit of contrail spotting, albeit short-lived. I think it is just about the only gap in the clouds that is visible right now. Does look a bit more gloomy otherwise. Well, the northwest is what looks best right now. Alright, now let's have a look. Most of the airplanes at the moment going to center. There is an Embraer 190 arriving from Newcastle that is turning onto the glide slope up ahead. Not exactly sure if we can see it already. Let me see. Hard to make anything out, but I think there it is. Yeah, dead center. Embraer 190 arriving from Newcastle. Our next airplane, KLM Flight 954. Now let's zoom out a little bit. The first queen is nearing Lelystad, so we'll have to take a look further to the east in a moment. Oh, thank you for informing me, Paul. Almost missed JD's gifted memberships. Man, apologies for that. I am missing messages all over, but there it is. Another 5 AMS Live memberships gifted by JD. JD, thank you so much. Apologies for having missed it. It is a bit hectic at times. A warm welcome to all the new members who were gifted a membership by JD. JD, thank you so much. And once again, apologies for not having seen it. And Hugo just became a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Hugo. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. All the custom emojis are now at your disposal. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much for your support, Hugo. Right. The Embraer is getting closer, and so are the 747s. Not sure if we are going to be able to pick it up. Well, no, not yet. Still too far out. Still. Right. Well, I think the first 747s are going to land on center. That's almost certain. Or is it completely certain, and did someone check Omgevingsinfo Schiphol already? I also see that it is now just runway 24 that is being used for departures. 18 left, no longer being used, just runway 24. Now it is 11:24. Usually when they use the runway configuration such as today, usually around 11:40 they close the center runway again in favor of the polderbaan, and they typically reopen the secondary runway 18C around 1 o'clock, which means that the A380 almost certainly today and almost always goes to the wrong runway. It may mean that, well, no, the other two 747s are arriving from the west, so they will go to Polderbaan regardless. So 2 we will see land up close probably, unless they are too close. We also have seen that before, that due to separation they sent one to the center runway and they landed parallel. Definitely hope that will not be the case today. That is the risk of having them so close after another. Still exciting to see what is going to happen. Also, whether or not we are going to stay dry. This is where the wind is blowing from. And looking further ahead, it does look a bit more gloomy. Maybe because these clouds are a bit brighter, the contrast makes it look additionally gloomy, but well, let's just say that the atmosphere is a bit turbulent at times. Right, looking at the north and also on flight radar, I don't think we are going to see airplanes arrive immediately. I think the first couple of airplanes will be going to the center runway. That is probably Austrian arriving from Vienna. Now behind it is the 747. Don't think we're going to be lucky. And there is the A321neo arriving from Istanbul. This is an airplane that is going to center. Shall we have a look further out and see if we can maybe pick up the 747 already? It is flying at 5,400 feet, so the clouds might be in the way. Just zoom out a teeny bit. Lovely clouds though, isn't it? Aren't they? Hypothetically speaking, we should be able to see it at some point, but the question is, I think the clouds are still in the way. It's not yet possible. And there is traffic turning onto the glide slope for Polderbaan up north. Arriving from Vancouver, a 777, also a... Oh, and look at the beautiful clouds. Man, beautiful. Also got an Airbus A330 arriving from Bonaire. We won't be seeing any traffic from Sint Maarten, I think, because there is, at the moment, at this very moment, a hurricane passing by. Tammy or something? Now, we might pick up the 747 in the background, so have a look for it. I know I am. It is getting closer by and we should be able to see it at some point. Though I think we're already past the point where it should be in the air. I think it is more to the left. Right, Pegasus A321neo arriving from Istanbul. Going to center. Flight 1251. Flight time from Istanbul to where it is flying right now has been 3 hours and a minute, so that is nominal, par for the course. The airplane is 1 year old, first flight was in July 2022. Right. Now let's have a quick glimpse at the Austrian A320 arriving from Vienna. The heavies are coming this way. The the 747 is turning onto the glide slope, so let's have a look. First up to this runway we have an 777-300 and the A330 is behind it. Now zooming out a little bit and panning to the right, there she is, the first queen of 4 within the hour. The PHBVA also coming this way, the Orange Pride and the Emirates A388 also expected around 1:10 local time. Evelyn says, German Airways chocolate delivery due in 4 minutes. Where is it coming from, Evelyn? Is it arriving from the east or from the west? If it is arriving from the east, it's very likely going to go to center. Can I make the shot a bit wider? Ah, there are things in the way. Let me see. Display. Get rid of all the stripiness. Right. There you go. 747 coming in for center. And the triple and A330 to the Polderbaan. Nicely spaced out so we can follow one and the other. Here we have the 777 arriving from Vancouver, KLM flight 682, 777-300ER. Flight time from Vancouver to where it is now has been 8 hours and 35 minutes so far. The airplane is 10 years old, first flight May 2013. Right, everybody who has just tuned in, welcome to the show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you don't have to go anywhere, be anywhere else, because we are beginning our grand finale. 4 747s, the first one is approaching. 3 are following. We have the PHBVA Orange Pride coming in. Plus, of course, the daily Emirates A380. Now, as the Delta KLM A330 is approaching our runway, the Queen is going to pass us by. 747-400, Cargolux Italia, flight 2616 arriving from Nairobi. Flight time 8 hours and 34 minutes. This 747-400 freighter is 16 years old, first flight July 2007. This is KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire. A330-300. Hopefully you guys are hearing that as well, the reversers. The 777 taxiing to the main platform area. Right. And the Livery chocolate Chucky is landing on the Polderbaan, arriving from Brussels, flying over the North Sea. Let me zoom out a little bit, have a look where it is. Well, it's almost turning base, and we are going to see the next 747 doing the same approach. Can we see it already? I thought I saw a twinkling. Yeah, that's the airplane going to center. I think that is the A330, and parallel to the A330, but already a bit lower, TUI Dreamliner. That is our next airplane. And this would be the KLM A330 arriving from Daman. Now somewhere behind it should be the 747. Crouching down behind the laptop so that I can see better. If maybe we can spot it already. Maybe a bit more to the... Oh yeah, below. There it is. Queen number 2. Coming our way. Excellent stuff. Hey Berend, goedemorgen. All other viewers as well. I have been very much preoccupied with camera work and watching flight radar. Apologies if I haven't greeted anybody, if I didn't greet everybody personally. I'm trying to focus as much as I can on giving you the best information and the most relevant things to see that is happening all around us over here. The grand finale has begun. We already saw the first of 4 747s land on runway center just now. The second one we just localized still further north. We'll also be landing on the center runway. There are 2 more coming from the west, so regardless of whether center is open or not, those will probably land, I say it carefully, on this runway, because they are flying relatively closely behind each other. So ATC could screw us over because they think the separation is not enough. But I just only had a quick look on flight radar. It might be that the separation is actually more than enough. In theory, they should both come to this runway, following the 2 747s that are arriving from the west is also the PHBVA, the KLM Orange Pride 777. Now, beautiful backdrop, we can see 2 airplanes approaching. In the foreground we have TUI Flight 383. It is a Dreamliner 7878 arriving from Bonaire. Flight time 8 hours and 53 minutes thus far. The airplane is 9 years old. First flight was May 2014. Behind it is the Livery Chocolaterie Embraer 190 arriving from Basel, German Airways, but flying for KLM. Let's have a quick look at the landing of this airplane and then look back up at the second Queen that is arriving. so. Heavy traffic going into runway center. An Airbus A330 arriving from Daman. But let's focus our attention to Queen numero dos. Suparna. It's been a while since we last saw Suparna in the stream. At least that's what it feels like. This is Suparna Airlines flight 7417 or 87417. Not sure which of the two is the flight number. I think it is the 5-digit number. Arriving from Hefei, which I probably mispronounce, in China. Hefei, Hefei, Hefe. No, that's yeast in German. Anyway, it's coming in from China. Flight time 10 hours and 53 minutes. 747 400 HAF parenthesis ER. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight July 2007. And in the meantime, Chucky is coming to the Polderbaan. Probably won't come to a photobomb moment, but no, it's still a few hundred meters out. We can probably go back to the German Airways after this airplane has landed and see it on the roll out. Right, 2 down, 2 to go. 4 747s, and the next 2 are expected shortly. That is the nice thing. All within 15 minutes. 4 747s. The PHBVA not far behind. What an entree for the main course, the A380. And here is Chucky. Chocoladetorte. And of course, a nice little butt shot. Hey there, Mitchell. Morning, man. Hope all is well. Mitchell says, I'm only doing $2 donations, but hey, everyone. Yeah, well, even those you still don't need to do. I thought we agreed on no donations for another year, but at least $2 donations is decent. Hope all is well, Mitchell. Hope you were in time to see the first 2 of the 4 747s that we are going to see. And definitely stick around for the next couple. Little E2 rolling out, but let's look up ahead. Queen number 3. Atlas Air flight 5421 arriving from Miami, Florida. Another 747-400 freighter. So far this airplane has taken 7 hours and 54 minutes to get from Miami to where it is flying right now. We can see the next airplane in the distance, coming closer. This airplane, the 747 we see in the foreground, is 23 years old. First flight was in February of the year 2000. The airplane we are seeing behind it, it looks minute, but it is a big bird. 78710 KLM flight 604 arriving from LAX. Ah, glad to hear you did see the Queen. There were 2, eh, Mitchell? This is number 3 already. The first 2 landed on center. Not sure what the 4th is going to do. It's probably not far out. Let's see. Pinch, pinch. Oh, and here I was being worried about separation, but not seeing it on flight radar yet. So look tiny on flight radar, but in actuality there's plenty distance in between. And as you guys can see, the sun is starting to come out over here once again. Makes for more interesting lighting. Let's see if it is going to use the reversers and if there is still enough moisture to generate some spray. Ah yes, just a little bit, not as much as yesterday, but it was still something. Absolutely joy to see. Now Jerry, thank you for your super chat. Jerry writes, so many queens, must be a drag show. Well, I'll have drag shows like these any time of the day. Bring it on, is what I say. Now, folks, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't done so already, and subscribe if you want to stay updated of when I'm going live in the future. Make sure to hit the bell icon, and wouldn't you believe it, we have, and let me go to autofocus, we have a Coot in the water. First, the only one, probably the last. But that is 100%, 1000% more than we saw yesterday. Oh, lovely view. We can see the Dreamliner arriving from LAX, and behind it another airplane going to the glide slope. It is a 777 arriving from China, and that can mean only one thing. Runway center has closed, so I will have to update the ticker. This is now once again the only runway for arrivals. If it wasn't, then the 777 that we saw in the background just now would have landed on center. So that is good news. KLM Flight 604 arriving from LAX, 78710 Dreamliner. Hey there Campero, bom dia, good morning. And all other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome to you guys as well. Now, good news indeed, the center runway is being closed again, and 18 right, where we are standing next to, is the only runway used for arrivals. That can only mean that 18 left is going to open up for departures in a few moments, so I'm already going ahead and entering that in the ticker. Now folks, if you just tuned in, we're in the midst of a grand finale. We already saw 3 747s land, the fourth is coming. Behind the fourth 747 we are also going to see the KLM 777, the PHBVA, the Orange Pride, and dessert will consist of the A380 arriving from Dubai, expected to land around 10 past 1 p.m. local time. With wind blowing from the southwest, not too hard. We did have some rain, some droplets earlier, but for the time being it looks like it is going to stay dry. Fingers crossed. Before all the heavies are arriving, we have this Transavia 737-800 arriving from Malaga, flight 6116. 737-800. Took 2 hours and 24 minutes to get here. Sounded like an idle reverse landing. Now, big picture, what does it look like over here? This is what it looks like to the south. A bit dark. This is where the wind is blowing from. This is the southwest. This is what it looks like to the west, over the sea. This is what it looks like to the east and looking to the southeast. Beautiful lighting over at Schiphol, and also in the background, look at that. Behind the tower, beautiful clouds. Airplanes taking off. I think that's the first airplane taking off from 18 left already. That's not from runway 24. Confirmation that they did change to dual departure runway configuration. Right, Chinese 777 coming in. China Southern Cargo arriving from Guangzhou, flight 2571. 777 freighter, flight time nearly half a day, ladies and gentlemen, 11 hours and 49 minutes. 777 freighter, 14 years old, first flight October 2009. Now the Chinese also have a way of using the reverse thrust. Will this one do the same? There is still moisture to cause some spray. Yes. Not as much as we saw yesterday, but then again we were out immediately after it stopped raining yesterday, so a bit different. And would you just look at the sky being lit. Welcome to the Netherlands, folks. This is a typical Dutch sky with clouds. Gloomy clouds in the foreground. However, I don't think precipitation will come out of it, will fall out of it. Little gaping hole. Doesn't that look nice? Makes you all zen, doesn't it? Also have a look. Very photogenic, if you ask me. Alright, now let's turn around the camera. We have more traffic coming in. A couple of narrow bodies will be following. Let's see, there we go. 3 airplanes visible in the distance. In the foreground we have an Embraer 175 arriving from Hanover. Behind it is a 737-700 arriving from Billund. And behind that is a Delta A330 arriving from Detroit. And the former two are from KLM. So this Embraer 175 is KLM flight 1904 arriving from Hanover. Flight time 44 minutes. 6-year-old airplane, first flight July 2017. What a nice glide slope shot. Glide slope shot, glide slope shot, glide slope shot. Glide slope shots fired. Well, Jerry, better stock up on some more Jaeger then. Got a third airplane coming in the middle of the screen. Beautiful. Now, JD, thank you so much. JD just gifted yet another 5 AMS Live memberships. That's like the 3rd or 4th 5 membership gift donation this stream. Thank you so much for that, JD. Also, be careful that you don't spend any money that you cannot afford to lose, because however much I appreciate the gesture, I wouldn't want any of you guys to spend money on supporting the channel if you need it for other purposes. Definitely only make sure that you can spend what you can miss. JD, thank you so much. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. The 5 new members that were gifted the membership by JD. KLM Buttshot coming in the meantime. This airplane coming back home from Billund, and we can see the Chinese triple in the background taxiing back. Now, Barb's, good morning. Cloud porn, absolutely. Triple X rated content over here, which is why this channel is for adults only. Delta A330 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Flight 136, flight time 7 hours and 6 minutes. The airplane is 20 years old already. Celebrated its 20th birthday in June this year. Oh. Dare I say it was a little bit disappointing, both in the audio and the visual department. The wheelie was not very long, and it certainly was not impressive in terms of spray and or reverse thrust application. Hopefully the number 2 will do better. Queen number 4, there she is. Now, in the meantime, also a big thank you and warm welcome to Patrick, who just became a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Danny. All the custom emojis are now also available to you. Hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you like it in the lounge. Queen number 4, preceded by Turkish. Well, Anadolu jet flying for Turkish or operated by Turkish. Anyway, an airplane arriving from Turkey, 737-800, arriving from Istanbul. Flight time, 3 hours and 2 minutes, so that's par for the course. It's always around 3 hours normally speaking. 25 years old, first flight August 1998. Now, the last couple of airplanes have been applying the reverse thrust, so leads me to believe that there probably isn't that much moisture on that part of the runway anymore. Although we did see more spray production from the bigger jets, so let's see if maybe this 747 can do better. It is the 4th Queen. It is arriving from Miami, Florida as well. Cargolux 747-400 HAF parenthesis ER, similar to the other one. Flight time 7 hours and 33 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. This airplane started flying in February of the year 2008. Yeah. let's just say it wasn't as spectacular as it was yesterday. I think the clouds in the background are a bit more spectacular than the landing we saw just now. Wasn't very bad though, but I had higher hopes. That's probably my problem, having too high of hopes. She's vacating the runway, making way for a Boeing 737-700 that is arriving from Bergen behind me. KLM 737-800 behind it, arriving from Valencia. Now, not far behind this 747, if I recall correctly, was the PHBVA, the Orange Pride 777. So let me have a quick look, pinching out just to see where it is. I think we have it. Yeah, no. Oh, that's the Sky Team. Oh, we are also going to see the 777 in Sky Team livery. That's the one arriving from Panama City right now. Don't have the Orange Pride in view, but I think I do see it now. Yeah, the Orange Pride is crossing the North Sea, arriving from Atlanta. So they are nicely spaced out. Let's quickly turn around, have a look at the landing 737-700 arriving from Bergen. Now touching down, KLM flight 1186. Still have plenty of big birds approaching. I just saw, if you look on flight radar, west of the Netherlands over the North Sea, there are a couple. So not only are we going to see the PHBVA, the Orange Pride, but also that other 777-300 special livery from KLM, the Sky Team livery. Was that the PHBVB or D? I really want to take you along for the clouds in the distance. Have a look, will you? That's probably too far zoomed in, but isn't this a majestic look? Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Right, well, Mrs. Professor, thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you on the next one. Sleep tight. We do have some precipitation further east. And a Transavia 737 landing over here. Hey, Sir Lancelot. Good to see you, mate. Hope you were in time to see all the 747s that we saw earlier. Looking around on the lanterns, still no Russell, no Cheryl, no nothing. Now, if you have a sweet tooth, I'm not sure if they are edible when fresh from the ground. We have enough sugar beets still laying here. If they stack them high enough, you might be able to ski off of them. Not sure how comfortable that would be, but also not going to volunteer to give that a try, but theoretically I think it should be possible. German Airways flying for KLM, arriving from Cardiff. Up next, KLM flight 1060. Short flight, 57 minutes. Same age as Chucky and as the PHBVA, 15 years old, first flight January 2008. You can still see, as it touches down, some moisture on the runway. Ah, excellent. Good to hear, Lance. Right. Oh, that's an interesting. Did you know? SLDKJH. How about that for a tongue breaker? Says, did you know that the sugar beet factory runs 24/7 until all the beets are processed? That's why there needs to be a steady flow of beets. It cannot be stopped. That's interesting. I never knew. So you have to process the entire batch in one go. Hey Sven, goedemiddag. Embraer 175 arriving from Leeds, KLM flight 1542. Now the wind doesn't seem to have changed direction significantly, still more or less blowing away from us when the camera is oriented in this fashion. And that is approximately at a 45-degree angle versus the runway heading, which is parallel to this water. So still blowing from the southwest. Has cleared up nicely in the north, or to the north I should say. So we see two airplanes right now. The first is a KLM 737 arriving from Helsinki. The second one is an Embraer 190 arriving from Darlington. And the third one, now turning onto the glide slope just now, arriving from Panama City, is the KLM 777 in the Sky Team livery. And that is the BVD. So the BVA, and there is number 4. Which is arriving from Shanghai. 777 from one of the Chinese cargo carriers. So the BVA is the Orange Pride, and the BVD is the 777 in the Sky Team livery. Right, beautiful glide slope shot. And thank you, Jerry, for your super chat. Jerry writes, my new drink is the Glager Slopster glide slope. That's supposed to be the custom emoji. Andrew, thank you for your super chat as well. Andrew writes, first day as a member and loving it. Great stream, boy, he says. Thank you so much, Andrew, first of all, for becoming a member. And second of all, for your super chat. I'm very much thrilled to hear that you like it. Hope it is going to stay that way. It's getting a bit more busy. This is an Embraer 190 arriving from Darlington or Teesside, KLM flight 1534. Flight time, 52 minutes thus far. The airplane is 7 years old, first flight November 2015. And for a moment the final few inches of the nose wheel lowering. We're extended a little bit, but it's not a record-breaking wheelie. Now, there's a first, an Embraer with squeaky brakes. However, we are going to get a butt shot out of it. Beautiful. Now, also, thank you and welcome Matthew Sims for just becoming a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you so much for your support, Matthew. Hope you enjoy the custom emojis that are available to all the members. Let's quickly turn around. No time to waste. The PHBVD is landing. The 777 in the Sky Team livery. KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City. Yeah, for a livery like this, the lighting is suboptimal today, unfortunately. It did look nice as it passed by, but in the beginning and also here, looks a bit too dark. Bit of a pity. Let's quickly turn around. Hey Wilma, goedemiddag. Good to see you. Right, 2 airplanes coming up. This is China Cargo Airlines arriving from Shanghai. Flight 209, 777 freighter. Flight time 11 hours and 29 minutes thus far. The airplane is brand new, meaning less than a year old according to flight radar, but the first flight actually was in December last year. So it's almost a year old. Have another 777 behind it, arriving from Curaçao. It's not yet the PHBVA, but this is the PHBVU coming in, arriving from Curaçao. Flight 736. No airplanes from Sint Maarten today, as they are having a hurricane pass over right now. Tammy or something. Now that definitely didn't disappoint in the audio department. Also, would you look at the clouds being illuminated by the sun beautifully. I never get bored looking at clouds like this on days such as today. I'm not going to linger too long though, because more awaits us in the north, more action. This is KLM flight 736 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. We see an airplane approach the glide slope from the east or from the right. And we also see another airplane behind this airplane. This is the 777 arriving from Curaçao. Flight time thus far 8 hours 24 minutes. 777-300ER. 6 years old, first flight September 2017. Right, let's take a breather and switch from the heavies to the lighter stuff for a moment. There are just two at the moment. There is a third one approaching from the right further up north. Can we see it? I think we should be able to pick it up. Transavia arriving from Zakynthos. Yeah, just below the airplane in the foreground, the number one. Very nice. Right, first airplane to arrive, Aer Lingus, arriving from Dublin. The second airplane is an Embraer 175 arriving from Stuttgart. Shamrock flight 604 coming in from Dublin, Ireland. An hour and 4 minutes away by A320. This particular airplane, 18 years old. And what looks like a 777. And what am I hearing? Yes. You guys may have picked up on him as well. Russell is back. Finally. I did see him as I was walking up here early in the morning, but then he left and never came back. Until now, that is. Good to see he's still in good health. Oh, and that was the Finnair A350 going to Helsinki that we heard. I already thought that the rumble was a little bit on the heavy side for a 777, but Finnair A350. Now, this is KLM flight 1870 arriving from Stuttgart. No reversers. Also doesn't look like it is necessary. Slowing down enough already. Bloodshot coming in. Got a Transavia 737-800 up next. They keep getting prettier, those clouds in the background. Really dreamlike lighting conditions. Well, at least over there. Over here it is a bit more straightforward. Everyday backdrop, but nice. Visibility is good. We can see the glide slope clearly if traffic is on it. This is Transavia flight 5094, and Russell has come closer. He is now sitting on the lantern most nearby, making a ruckus. This airplane arriving from Zakynthos in Greece. I think he wants me to point the camera towards him. He has a desire for screen time, it seems like. And as I'm turning, he is flying away. You son of a beet. Son of a sugar beet. Went from autofocus to manual focus to autofocus for nothing. Right, A320 Neo coming up in the Asturias Paraíso Natural, and it goes further. Probably a sticker for an area of Spain. Flight 8309 arriving from Barcelona, A320 Neo. Flight time 1 hour and 50 minutes. The airplane is 4 years old. First flight January 2019. And it is the PHBVA that is going to come next. The Orange Pride KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. So let's have a look at the landing and then go back to the Orange Pride. Is that the sticker? I think it is. Maybe a national park or something? Who knows? Right, well, this is the KLM Orange Pride, ladies and gentlemen. The PHBVA, 15 years old, shares its birthday with Chucky. First flight January 2008, making it 15 years old. KLM flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Flight time at the moment 7 hours and 22 minutes. And it is a 777-300ER, but you all knew that already. Lighting is not very favorable to see the bright orange, unfortunately. You will be able to see it better once it passes us by, but without the direct sunlight, it doesn't really come across that well. Same with the Sky Team livery we saw earlier. Looks a bit dark, but hey. Little wheelie. Best. And now it is getting dark again. Right, the PHBVA Orange Pride, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, now looks like we are going to see a number of back-to-back narrow bodies first. Let's have a look at the glide slope. I'm counting 3. Or are we seeing more? No, 3 at the moment by the looks of it. Now, let's have a look. Right, so at the moment the A380 is still flying over Germany. We'll have to wait a little bit before we get to see it. Last time I checked, estimated time of arrival was 1:10 p.m. local time, so that is still 45 minutes away. I am expecting at some point in the next, what is it, half hour, that runway 18 center will also be reopened again. For the time being, this is still the only runway for arrivals. This is number 175 arriving from Genoa, KLM flight 1562, followed by an A319 from EasyJet arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Now, just visually looking out to the southwest, this is where the wind, at least where the clouds are being carried from this direction. I think we are going to be good for the time being until the A380 has landed. Although as you can clearly see, east of me, rain is falling. But looking around me, looks like we are in the clear over here. Now, the man that absolutely should not have to gift anything to me because he is almost always present, just gifted 5 memberships. Paul, thank you so much for that. And really, you know, you shouldn't have to. Don't feel like you need to. Thank you so much nonetheless. Of course, very much appreciated. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new members. And don't forget to say a big thank you to Paul, aka Yorkshire Biker, for your membership. Thank you for that, Paul. Very much appreciated. But please, you're doing more than enough as moderator, and that goes for all moderators. Wow, doesn't that look gloomy? Zoomed in, just looking at the dark sky to the east. Zoomed in, like so. Looks very gloomy and dark. However, looking in this direction, it is much more cheerful. Beautiful glide slope shot. We have 3 airplanes visible in the shot. Up next, A320neo arriving from Basel, EasyJet, followed by an Embraer 190 arriving from Berlin, and another EasyJet A320neo arriving from, I think, Dubrovnik. EasyJet A320neo arriving from Basel, now touching down after an hour and 9 minutes of flight. The airplane is 2 years old. First flight October 2021. Neo butt shot coming in. So is that what they mean when they speak about a booty call, calling a butt shot, calling out that there is a butt shot coming in? Well, let's just not call it that, shall we? It makes you wonder, or at least I get a bit philosophical at moments. I start wondering things like that. We're hearing an airplane pass over. That is an Embraer 190 going to Göteborg. This is an Embraer 190 arriving from Berlin. KLM flight 1820. Flight time 1 hour and 4 minutes. The airplane is 11 years old. First flight January 2012. And would you believe it, I'm standing in the sunshine at the moment. And now, not anymore. That was only a brief moment. You can see the sun illuminating the airplane. Is it opening up then? You might be wondering. The answer is no. Sadly, was just a small glimpse. This is what is still passing in front, or going to pass in front of the sun, so it's going to be standing in the shade here for a while to come. But at least I think it's going to stay dry, and that is already something. 3 airplanes visible in the distance. Up close, the A320neo arriving from Dubrovnik, lot Embraer 190 behind it arriving from Warsaw, and KLM 737-800 arriving from Milan, number 3. Right, so this A320neo arriving from Dubrovnik has taken 2 hours and 18 minutes to get here. Neo with the more traditional full circumference, moving to the back to make way for the reverser. Most, if not all, of the regular A320s have those 4 slots that open. It was nice to see. Not sure if it is more effective, but I like that there is a little bit of variation in the different airplanes. Right, beautiful glide slope shot over here. 3 airplanes. Embraer 190 from Lot, flight 263 arriving from Warsaw. The airplane has taken 1 hour and 47 minutes to get here. The airplane itself 4 years old, first flight December 2018. Now the A380 is getting closer by the minute, which also means that the moment runway 18 center will open up as secondary runway for arrivals is also getting closer by the minute. Of course, something I'm not looking forward to, but it is something that happens very regularly and is actually to be expected. Polish butt coming in. Two airplanes, 3 airplanes visible already. A small bird and a big bird is behind it, and behind the big bird is another big bird. It is double triple time once again. After this 737-800 has landed. KLM flight 1620 arriving from Milan. Touching down now after 1 hour and 23 minutes of flight. The miniature version of K3 has actually been turned into an emoji, the bird control vehicle. Ford Raptor Ranger, or Ford Ranger Raptor I should say probably. We have heard some fireworks from the bird controller earlier. Next up is KLM flight 744. Which isn't a Boeing 747-400, but it is a 777-200 arriving from Lima in Peru. Flight time 11 hours and 50 minutes, nearly half a day and half a globe away. 777-200 ER, 19 years old, first flight April 2004. Right, I think I see the first airplane on flight radar going to center. They have reopened it, unfortunately, but not unexpectedly. So I will update the ticker shortly. First, let's have a look at the landing of the second 777-200. Double triple, but it's not just a 200-300 combination, but it is a double 200 combination. Arriving from Guayaquil, Ecuador. KLM flight 751. Flight time 10 hours 46 minutes, a bit shorter than Lima. Still a hefty distance to cover. Wouldn't do it by car necessarily. The airplane is 17 years old, a bit younger than the previous airplane. First flight was in March 2006. Did not see Is that the landing light that is normally on the nose gear? That light that normally is on wasn't on. So not only are they saving on using the reverser, but they're also saving on electricity by not turning on the lights if necessary, if not necessary. Right, airplanes are approaching center. This is the first one, Embraer 190 arriving from Kristiansand. There is an E2 Embraer 195 behind it arriving from Birmingham. Icelandair Max 8 is coming our way. I'm going to focus the camera on its arrival already and delve into the ticker for a moment to update the runway usage. Now folks, definitely don't forget to drop a like if you haven't done so already, if you are liking what you're seeing, and also don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay informed of when I'm going live. Make sure to hit the bell icon when you do. Runway 18 center now also being used for the arrivals together with 18 right. While I am behind the laptop, let me also have a look at the weather and update the METAR for you guys. Has been a while since I last updated it, and if I have enough time, let me also take you through it. Not everybody might know what those letter number combinations in the bottom mean, and I can tell you it is the weather. I'm trying to update it regularly. Right, there we go. So just for entertainment, let me show you, or let me tell you what the things in the bottom end mean. METAR, the weather update for AHAM in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Today, the 22nd of October, and the time, it doesn't say, oh no, 20, huh? Okay, that's odd, 10:25 or 12:25 Zulu time. The wind 11 knots, 210 degrees, so wind from the southeast, southwest. Few clouds at 3,000. It's going too quickly. Yeah, I'm reloading it. F that. I was confused by the ticker because it didn't mention the month, but it did just mention the 22nd and 10:25 Zulu time. So that is 12:25 local time. The wind 11 knots from 210 degrees. So that is mostly from the south a little bit. It's west-southwest. No, south-southwest is what you call that. 9999 means visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 3,500 feet, broken clouds at 4,400 feet. The air temperature 13 degrees Celsius. The dew point is 11 degrees Celsius. And that last bit I don't remember. No SIG means no significant changes in the weather. But I had to stand up. Show the Max 8 arriving from Reykjavik. New livery. Come on. Where is that message? There we go. Rick. Brother, why are you doing this? Not necessary. Thank you so much. Rick just gifted 5 AMS Live memberships. Thank you so much for that, Rick. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new members. Don't forget to say a big thank you to Rick for the gifted membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those new members. You now have access to all the custom emojis at your disposal. Use them wisely. Have fun using them. Rick, thank you so much once again for your support. Really uncalled for as a moderator. You're doing more than enough to support the channel as it is. But thank you nonetheless so much. A320 from Vueling landing now. Arriving from Alicante, flight 1377. Flight time 2 hours and 12 minutes. A little bit of reverse thrust application there. And the sun is out once again. Mr. Jackson, good afternoon, sir. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Hope you were in time to see the arrival of the 4 747s that we saw earlier. If you just tuned in just now, and that goes for everybody, you missed 4 747s in, what was it, 20 minutes or so? Really tremendous to see. 2 of them landed on the center runway, 2 of them landed on the Polderbaan. We're now waiting for the grand finale, and that is the A380 from Emirates. Well, be sure to check back later, Michael. I will timestamp all the highlights as per usual when I get home. And that is what I'm going to commence with after the A380 has landed. Also have a birthday to attend to. My uncle, I think he is turning 79. And coincidentally he is called Ben, so Uncle Ben's. I have to go to Uncle Ben's later for his birthday. If there's one thing I can take away from him, it is to stay active both physically and mentally. As you get older, use it or lose it. It is a rule of nature. So if you want to stay healthy and if you want to grow old, make sure to exercise regularly, whether it is sports or doing chores, constructing things or taking things apart, but be active and also mentally. Also helpful not to stand too close to landing Delta A330s that use reverse thrust if you want to keep your hearing until you grow old. Then again, hearing aids these days are getting better, I've been told. They now even air commercials where it looks like you can even pick up your phone with your hearing aids or listen to the radio. Basically like AirPods, but also amplifying speech. Anyway, I'm digressing. Oh, why is that, Jerry? Is Uncle Ben's, is that not woke or something? Now I'm very curious for Jerry's answer. Ah, okay, yeah, it is not woke. Well, they should listen to an A330, that'll wake you up. Right. Okay, Rick has to go. Too bad. Thanks for joining, Rick. It is nice to see you once again, and hope to see you on the next one. Well, the next one is probably tomorrow, so maybe next weekend then. Anyway, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, mate. See you soon. It's a bit quiet with traffic coming to Polderbaan. At the moment there is this A320 and Russell photo bombing the moment. He is eager to get his 15 minutes of fame, isn't he? But on his own terms. Right, Vueling A320 arriving from Valencia, flight 8353. Let's have a look. Alright, I'm looking on flight radar to the east and I can see that the A380 is about to enter Dutch airspace in the vicinity of Enschede, being preceded by the 787-10 Dreamliner from Saudi arriving from Jeddah. Now both will most likely go to center, which if you are behind the computer you can check for yourself on Omgevingsinfo Schiphol, which, come to think of it, I can also show you guys in a minute. So there is a website where you can see where approaching and landing traffic to which runway they have been assigned. It's a Dutch website. I can show you where you can look to see that information. Makes the whole experience, of course, more interesting if you can already see to which runway which airplane is going. The Vueling A320 doing a KLM style landing, keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. Would you look at that? First time I'm pointing the camera to the southwest where the wind is blowing from and I see blue and openness. Looks like another interesting cloud further up. But let me turn around the camera. We have a few minutes before the next traffic arrives. TAP Air Portugal, A320neo arriving from Lisbon. Now I can show you guys, if you want to see to which runway traffic arriving has been assigned to. If you go, I always have the astronomy picture of the day as my starting page, always interesting to look at. If you go to omgevingsinfo schiphol.nl, which I will put in the and you click on doorgaan, which is continue in Dutch, then you can see all the airplanes that are arriving, and if you click on them you can see the label. If you then click on the label, here it says which runway it is assigned to. It's not in numbers, so you need to know which runway is called what. Zwanenburgbaan is the name for the center runway, the north-south oriented runway. If you go to LVNL, no wait, Bezoekbas is... They have a little map. Somewhere where you can also see the names of the runways. Let me see if that is, yeah, there it is. So if you go to bezoekbas.nl, which I will also put in the and you go to the verwacht baangebruik, expected runway usage, you go to the latest iteration. Here you have a little map and says Zwanenburgbaan is this runway, Polderbaan is this runway, Buitenvelderbaan this runway, Oostbaan this runway, Aalsmeerbaan is this runway and Kaagbaan is this runway. Might be informative for you guys. If you want to look along and see to which runway approaching airplanes are going. A320neo Top Air Portugal, flight 674, arriving from Lisbon. I'm assuming it is more sunny in Portugal than it is over here, since it is wearing sunglasses, but over here they're not needed. Portuguese butt shot. And traffic going to the center runway. Air France, probably arriving from Paris. Yeah, A320. Hey, and we have a pencil coming up. Nice. Standard, not the 100 years independence livery, but it is still a 757-300. Now over here we don't get to see them very often. I think Icelandair is the only operator that flies them to Amsterdam. There it is. Now, there it is. Had to look for the message, but there it is. JD, thank you once again. I think that is the 4th time, if not more often already, that you have gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. I think that is more than enough for today now, JD. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines, those 5 new members. Courtesy of JD, so don't forget to thank JD for that. Thank you so much once again, JD, for gifting 5 memberships. I'll have to have a look when I get back home how many we have right now. We are over 500. The next emoji slot will become available at 600. At a certain point, the increments needed are increasing, and now we're at the stage that every new emoji slot will have to be unlocked by getting 100 additional members. Now every day memberships expire, so if they don't get renewed automatically, you do also gradually lose memberships again. So it's always a point in time where you have to surpass a certain threshold, and then the slot becomes available, and then you need to seize it before you're under the threshold again. Bit of blue sky, another contrail visible, moving to the south, quite far out already. We were able to see a few contrails closer by earlier, more to the north. But still looking over here, feels like you're almost in an airplane floating over there. Right, now, in the meantime, the pencil has arrived. Icelandair flight 500, Boeing 757-300, arriving from Reykjavik, flight time 2 hours and 49 minutes. This airplane is 21 years old, first flight February 2002. Now I've been told that this is sort of like the inverse A340, where the A340 is severely underpowered, or at least the 300 is. This airplane, from what I've heard, is extremely overpowered. Hey, Big Al, morning, man. Well, good afternoon, I should say, particularly if you are in Spain, where it is also almost 1 o'clock. Now, I'm not trying to make you jealous over here, Big Al, but look at that. I stole it. We also have the sun. We have it now. It's ours now, and we're not going to give it back to the Spanish. Right. Let's have a look. The A380 at the moment in the vicinity of Lelystad still has to cross the Markermeer. Got an Embraer 175 coming up next, arriving from Aberdeen. Another Embraer 190 arriving from Glasgow. And a Dreamliner from Turkish going to center. (787-9) Dreamliner from Turkish, flight 1957, arriving from Istanbul. Flight time thus far of this airplane 2 hours and 52 minutes. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight was in May 2020. Lovely tulip on the main fuselage behind the wings. And from this angle you can see just how much flex there is in the wings. The upward flex really shows looking from this angle. Beautifully shown. Alrighty. Little Embraer just landed. Visualization of the wind, what wind there is. There's not a lot of wind. It does cause a few ripples in the water, but nothing substantial. While I'm standing over here in the sunshine, it has become a bit more gloomy looking to the north. Right, so this is KLM Flight 1474, Embraer 190, arriving from Glasgow. Flight time 1 hour and 8 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old, first flight October 2008. And the A380 is crossing over Markermeer. Sorry?
Bijten doen we niet, hè?
Wat doen we niet?
Bijten.
Bijten? Ja. Mooi. Ik denk dat ik wat mis. Ah!
Op vakantie.
Ja, moet je eens hier komen staan. Dan kun je zien hoe weinig ik kan zien op mijn scherm. Als het zonnetje schijnt. Je ziet geen donder. Ja, probeer maar eens hier op mee te kijken.
Nee,
Ik ben al lang blij dat ik met het zonnekapje, dat ik een beetje nog mijn scherm hier kan zien, dat ik de stream goed kan houden. Maar als het zonnetje schijnt, Dan zie je dus geen donder van de chat, dus ik loop enorm achter. Maar leuk om jullie te ontmoeten. Ah, nou leuk. Super. Blijven jullie ook wachten tot de A380 heeft geland?
Ja, dat was na 1 uur, hè?
Ja, hij is al in de buurt hoor. Hij zit... Ja. Nee, hij vliegt nu over Markermeer, is bijna bij Purmerend. Dus ik denk dat ik hem misschien nog wel ga kunnen zien als het niet te bewolkt is zometeen. Hij gaat landen op center, ja. Ja, dat is wel de pest. Je ziet daar nu al een vliegtuig in de verte. Even kijken. Dat zou... Nee, dat is nog niet... Nou, dat is misschien... Nee. Even kijken. See a little sparkle and I think that might be the Jeddah, the Dreamliner arriving from Jeddah. Way too far to the right, left. Let's have another look. Well, not seeing it anymore. We're just talking about the A380 approaching and it is already close by. Entering mainland of the province of North Holland in a few minutes. I thought I did see, I think, you see a little twinkle? That is, I think, the Saudia Dreamliner. Now, picking up a twinkle visually and finding it on camera is a bit more challenging. But that is also where the A380 is going to appear when it does. Is it over there? No. Now I've lost the twinkle. No traffic coming to the Polderbaan for a few minutes. So let's have another go at the Saudia Dreamliner. Where is it? Ah yeah, I do see the twinkle. Let's see, find something on the ground, the windmills. And then go up. There it is. So that is, I think, the Saudia Dreamliner, and that is also where in a few minutes the A380 is going to appear. It's now flying north of Purmerend. Really unfortunate the sun. I like that the sun is out, but it is unfortunate because it makes visibility so much poorer being out. Right, so that is the Dreamliner. Maybe a bit further to the right. Can we see something already? I'm also not sure if the clouds are in the way or not. This is probably too far to the right already. Let's go back to the anchor. That is the Dreamliner from Saudia. Right. Are you guys seeing anything?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Me neither. Oh yeah, I do see it. In the middle of the windmills. Yeah. So let's see. There it is. It's lower than the Saudia Dreamliner. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That is a quad-engined airplane. And the sun is shining as well. Gisteren was het drama. Ik stond hier al, ik had alles al opgezet. Ik moest een uur wachten. Ik heb mijn camera onder mijn rugzakken gedaan. Klein parapluutje uitgezet. Grote paraplu hierover om het te coveren. En maar eventjes een plastic, zo'n vuilniszak op de grond gelegd dat ik gewoon even kon zitten. Uurtje wachten. dacht dat het wel zou uitdoven, maar dat deed het dus niet. Right, where was it? A bit more to the left. Alright, there it is, the A380, the daily flight from Emirates, the last airplane of the day. Arriving from Dubai. And really need to zoom in to get the label open, otherwise it's showing the EasyJet. Right, Emirates flight 147, at the moment number 10, most worldwide tracked by 512 people, standard livery A388-800, arriving from Dubai, flight time 6 hours and 22 minutes. The airplane is 8 years old, first flight was in March 2015, still the old standard livery. Also hearing some birds chirping, but they're probably in the grass. On both sides. Now the one Coot is still in the water. Alright, well, bit hard for me to see out here. The sun is shining from behind. There's not a lot of contrast with the cloudy backdrop, but it is slowly getting closer. In the meantime, Air France, little umbrella behind me. That is very nice. Thank you so much. That makes it a bit better. There's still reflections though, but it is better, it's visible much better than with direct sunshine. We have an Airbus, an Embraer 170 from Air France landing on the runway over here, arriving from Marseille. You might pick it up on the mic. Now parallel to the A380 there is an EasyJet A320 arriving from Milan. That is flying over there. And you can see how much bigger the A380 is. Right, at the moment number 7, worldwide most tracked airplane on flight radar, followed by 756 people no less. I'm imagining a substantial amount are you guys. And it's nearly 1:10, so it is nicely on schedule. Wind is picking up a little bit. I have been filming without image stabilizer all the time, but it is now starting to get a little bit more wobbly. Now enabling image stabilizer means having to go through the menus. I think that doesn't combine well with following this airplane, so let's hope it doesn't get too severe in the last minute. Thank you. That was PPTT Cure Boy handing over an umbrella over me, or at least behind me, so that the sun wasn't obscuring the view on my phone, which otherwise would have been a bit restricted. The sun still out here, as you guys can maybe see. A319 from EasyJet is going to photobomb in a moment. Right, so the A380 has landed safely on runway center. It is applying the reverse thrust, and you can see that the runway has not been used that much, that often today. Spray production quite significant still. Similar to the 747 that we saw earlier, landing on this runway. Right, well folks, that is going to be it for today. I hope you guys had as much fun as I have. It was a great show. We had decent weather, a few droplets here and there, but mostly dry, so I'm very happy with that. If you like what you have seen and you have done so already, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you all for joining me here on this Sunday morning and early afternoon. Hope to see you on the next one, which is probably going to be tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will allow me to go out again tomorrow. If not, then hopefully we'll see you later in the next week. Thanks everyone for joining. A big thank you to everybody who was so kind to donate super chats, super stickers, memberships, becoming a member, or maybe buying something in the merch store or donating through PayPal. You guys are the best, and the channel wouldn't be anything without you guys. So thank you so much for that. Hope to see you on the next one. Also a big thank you to all the moderators for once again keeping the chat a friendly place, and hope to see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. See you and take care.